Beta build 2 for the update 24.2 is now live on bullroarer. Now I'm just going to take a look at the new changes from the last build. In my previous beta video I already covered the new area, the Scion difficulty system, but mainly in this video I will just look at the additional changes to the Cappy class. There are some news and notes. I will just go through and I will compare live to beta as usual. And as you can see, there are a couple of points here. Just gonna go straight into it. Starting at the top, there's a fix to some skills that were improperly cutting off the self effects. Some big changes to the Cappy marks. The cooldown of Revealing Mark is now 5 seconds. The cooldown of Noble and Telling Mark is now 3 seconds. And as you can see, there's currently a known issue that Revealing Mark is actually 3 seconds and the other marks are 5 seconds. It should be the other way around. As we know, on live, you put a mark on a target, you can select another target and quickly apply it. You can change it really quick, like instantly. But as you can see on beta, when you apply the mark and take it off, you now have a cooldown. The cooldown is 3 seconds, it should be 5, it's gonna be fixed I guess. If I try Telling Mark, it's gonna be a longer cooldown, 5 seconds. But as we saw in the patch notes, it's supposed to be Revealing Mark 5 seconds, Telling and Noble 3 seconds. So let's pretend Telling Mark is Revealing Mark. You put it on a target, the target dies or you want to switch it. It's gonna be a 5-second cooldown before you can put it on the next target. The reasoning behind this change is that you could actually put Revealing Mark on a target, take it off, apply it again, and get the heal from Revealing Mark to proc way faster than it should. So this is the fix for that. The next change is to the Cappy banners, and in this case the yellow and red banner. And looking at live, the red banner gives you the 30% damage for all classes. This has now been changed on beta. It is now 20% for all classes. The same goes for the yellow incoming healing banner. It's now going to be 20% incoming healing instead of 30%. I think this is a fine nerf. The banners have been really strong for a skill that you can keep 50% uptime, and in raids you can have 100% uptime for the banner with a yellow-red Cappy. Next up, increase damage of several Captain attack skills by 10-15%. This is good because the Cappies were still not quite where they should be for DPS. Another really big change is Blade of Elendil. It now does base light damage. It can now no longer miss, so you'll always hit this skill. And the biggest change to this is that Fury of Elendil no longer provides light damage proc. It now instead makes Blade of Elendil a taunt skill. So looking at beta at Elendil's Fury, it is now a force attack, another taunt for the Captain, which I think is really good. This means that the Captain now has 3 force taunts. You still have your ranged threatening shout, you have your grave wound, but you also get Blade of Elendil. As you can see, the tooltip now says forced attack, duration 5 seconds, which means if you do your normal Cappy rotation, you can now get an extra force taunt using this. I don't really mind this change, Cappy's needed another taunt, and I think making Blade of Elendil a force taunt is a good change. Shadow's Lament, damage upgraded significantly. This will now be one of the Cappy's strongest hitting skills. Just want to compare on live how much I hit unbuffed. Just a normal hit on live hits for 5k. And on beta it now hits for 9k. It's a 4k upgrade. I don't have the best DPS build. It's a pretty significant, almost doubled in damage upgrade for Cappy. Kick cooldown reduced to 10 seconds. On live, if you use kick, it takes 20 seconds to come back. It feels really long. But now on beta, if you use kick, it's only a 10-second cooldown, on par with the guard I think this is a good change. Kick's cooldown has been too long, and 10 seconds is perfect in my opinion. Another big change is to Last Stand. The Last Stand heal, when it expires, now heals 20% of max morale, and you can increase it by around 20% with the legacies. On live right now, I have the Last Stand heal plus 66% maxed out on my emblem, and on my tooltip it says it heals for 5 to 7k. I'm gonna pop my Last Stand, and it only heals for 5k, which is really small. But on beta, you can see I still have my emblem, and the legacy is now maxed out at 21.6% heal, which means it will be 41.6% if we look at the tooltip. It restores almost half of my morale. Let's try it out. This should now restore almost half of my morale, and as we can see, it heals me for almost 200k, which is really strong. Devastating attack damage increased a lot. There's been some adjustments to the Scion instances. And another big change, Anvil of Winterstith, the raid, boss 4, you can no longer teleport out of the portal and have people ult for loot. What's going to happen now is that whenever a person goes through the portal, it'll finish the fight, and you won't be able to loot for that fight anymore. Other than that, there's been a couple of fixes, some minor stuff that I'm not going to go into. I also tried to do a 1-minute parse like I did on the previous video, and it was about the same, around 30k. As I said, I don't have the best DPS build, and I didn't really use my buffs. I only used Red Banner, but my parse was slightly higher than the last build. And personally, I still think that quite a few of the skills for Redline Cappy still have way too long of a cooldown. You end up having to wait for skills, which is not good in my opinion. So I wouldn't mind seeing some reducing of the cooldowns, to be honest. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, join my Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.